Hey everyone, I'm Liz Fairy and today I'm going to show you how I made this crochet Yoshi doll. This project has taken me many drafts and designs, and after literally years of work, the tutorial is finally here. I really hope you all enjoy it. Some things you'll need for this tutorial are a crochet hook, I'll be using a size E, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and some stitch markers or bobby pins. I'll be using them to mark the first stitch of the row, and also to mark certain stitches to make them easier to find later. So I have a whole bunch of bobby pins here. You'll also need some fiber fill to stuff your doll, and you'll need some yarn in the following colors. Light green, or whatever main color you want to make your Yoshi. I'm just sticking to the classic light green, but you can make yours in pretty much any bright or pastel color. You'll also need white, bright orange, carrot orange, bright yellow, bright red, charcoal gray, and black. And if you'd like to follow along, you can also purchase the written pattern for this doll in my Ravelry store. You can find the link in the description below. So I'm going to begin by creating the nose using my green yarn, starting with a double magic circle with 6 stitches of single crochet. I won't go into too much detail on how to do this to try to keep the tutorial as short as possible, since it's probably going to be a pretty long one. If you want to see how I do this in more detail, you can check out my crochet lessons series on the magic circle and the double magic circle, and use whichever technique you prefer. Since this part of the doll will be highly visible on the front of the doll's nose, I've opted for a double magic circle because it's a little cleaner looking and far more secure. Next, I'll increase the work for 2 rows. If you'd like to learn more about increasing and decreasing, you can check out my crochet lessons on increasing and on decreasing. Again, I won't go into too much detail to keep this tutorial brief, but I'll be increasing the normal 6 times per row to create the nose. So in this first row of increase, I'll increase every stitch, and I have 12 stitches total at the end of the row. And in my second row of increase, I'll increase every second stitch, and have a total of 18 stitches at the end of the row. Now I've finished increasing the nose, so now I'll single crochet for 7 more rows to lengthen the nose. Alright, I've gotten to the end of 7 rows of plain single crochet in the round. Now to create the back of the head, I'm going to stop working in the round for a few rows, so that I'm only working along the back of the head. First, I'm going to single crochet into the first 8 stitches of the row. I'll also mark the stitch 3 stitches before, and the stitch 3 stitches after the row that I just made of 8 stitches, to remember where to work later on. There should be 2 skipped stitches in between the row I just made and the marked skipped stitch on each side. with 4 skipped stitches in between each of the marked stitches. So now I'm going to continue to single crochet in rows for 6 more rows to lengthen just the back of the head. So I'll chain 1 for the first stitch, then single crochet into the third stitch from the hook and into each of the remaining stitches of the row. I should have 8 stitches total at the end of this row. And then I'm just going to repeat that process to create another 5 rows of single crochet for the back of the head. Okay, I've gotten to the end of my rows at the back of the head. Now I'm going to begin working in the round again to create the mouth. To do this, I'll single crochet into the first marked skipped stitch, then single crochet into the 4 middle stitches, and single crochet into the next marked skipped stitch. Now I have a total of 14 stitches in my row. This is going to be the last stitch of this row, so I'm going to go ahead and single crochet directly into the first stitch of the next row to begin the next row. So I'm going to remove all the other bobby pins except for the one in the first stitch, because I don't need to mark those stitches anymore. In the next row, I'll create a chain to make the mouth. I've already single crocheted in the first stitch of the row, so now I'll single crochet into the next 7 stitches using my green yarn. But on that 8th stitch of the row, I'll change colors to white to begin making the mouth. So I've left that stitch open and finished it with a loop of the new color. Next I want to have a chain of 14, but again I'll change colors back to green for the 14th chain, so for now I'll just chain 13 using white. Alright, I have my 13 white chains. Now I'll use the light green yarn to chain one more to finish that last white chain. As I'm color changing for this project, I'll be stringing the tails of each color change through the inside of the doll. So I'll very gently pull up my loop of green through the chain, And I'll leave plenty of slack because I'm going to work the next stitch on the other side of the row, into the first stitch of the row. So I'll leave a tail of yarn that's long enough to span the gap inside the head. I'll be very careful not to pull this loop too tightly so that I'm not pulling at the fabric of the doll. And now the loop on the hook is my green yarn. If you want to see more detailed instructions on how to change colors, check out my color changing tutorial. Now I'm going to skip the last 6 stitches of the row and use my green yarn to single crochet directly into the next row to begin my next row. For the first stitch after the color change, just to help anchor the white yarn for the next color change, I'll single crochet over the white yarn. When I do the next stitch, I'll leave the white yarn behind. I'll do this for every single color change in the work. If you like, instead of stringing the yarn tails through the inside of the doll, you could string them under the stitches by working all the stitches this way. But I find that you can often see the other yarn poking through under the stitches, especially when using white yarn. So I'll just leave it all messy on the inside. Now the head should look something like this, with this part being the nose and the upper jaw, this part the lower jaw. These holes are where the cheek spots will go, with the eyes sitting on top of the nose. For the remainder of the body, I'll be using a lot of color changes, so I won't go into detail for this part. I'll just tell you how many stitches of each color to use. First, single crochet 8 using green, then change colors back to white. I've already done the first stitch of the row, so I'll single crochet 7 more using green. Then on the 8th stitch, I'll leave it open and change colors to white. Again, being careful not to pull at any of the fabric and stringing a little tail through the inside of the doll. Then using white and working into the white chain that I made in the previous row, I'll single crochet 3. Next, I'll decrease 1 into the next 2 loops of the chain. Then single crochet 1, decrease 1 again, single crochet 1, decrease 1 more time, then single crochet 3 more. But again, I'll leave the 3rd stitch open, then I'll change colors back to green. At this point, I have 19 stitches left in my row. In the next row, single crochet 9 using green, change colors back to white, and using white, single crochet 1, decrease 1, single crochet 1, decrease 1, single crochet 1, decrease 1 more, single crochet 1, and then change colors back to green. At the end of this row, I have 16 stitches. Using green, single crochet 1, decrease 3, single crochet 2, then change colors to white. Decrease 3, single crochet 1, then change colors back to green. In this row I have 10 stitches. Now I'm going to begin to increase 4 times per row at the back of the doll, using my green yarn to create the back. So I'll single crochet 1, then increase 4. Then single crochet 1 more and change colors to white. I'm also going to increase 3 times at the front of the doll using white to create the tummy. So increase 3, then single crochet 1 more, and change colors back to green. At the end of this row, I have 17 stitches total. In the next row, I'll once again increase 4 times using green at the middle back to continue to elongate the back. So single crochet 3, then increase 4 times, and single crochet 3 more, and change colors to white. Now single crochet 7 using white, then change colors back to green. Now I have 21 stitches in the row. In the next row, I'm going to create the armholes. So first I'll single crochet 1, then to make the armholes I'll chain 4, and skip the next 4 stitches and single crochet into the 5th stitch from the chain. Then single crochet 3 more so that there's 4 stitches at the back between the 2 armholes. Then to make another armhole, repeat the process and chain 4, skip the next 4 stitches, then single crochet in the 5th stitch from the chain. And at this stitch, I'm going to change colors back to white. Then using white, I'll single crochet 7, then change colors back to green. And since I chained the same number of stitches that I skipped, I still have 21 stitches total in my row. Next I'll single crochet around the armholes. So single crochet 1, skip the first chain of the chain 4, increase the next 2 chains of the chain 4, and skip the last chain of the chain 4. Then single crochet in the next 4 stitches in between the armholes. Then repeat for the other armhole. Skip the first chain of the next chain 4, increase the next 2 chains of the chain 4, skip the last chain of the chain 4, then single crochet 1 more using green, then change colors back to white. and single crochet 7 using white, then change colors back to green. Again, there's still 21 stitches total since I increased the same amount of stitches as I skipped. In this next row, I'll continue shaping around the armholes with increases and decreases. So first, around the first armhole, decrease 1, increase 2, and decrease 1, then single crochet 2 in between the armholes. Then repeat on the other side, decrease 1, increase 2, and decrease 1 using green, then change colors to white. Single crochet 7 using white, and change colors back to green. In the next row, I'll begin increasing at the back to create the tail. First, single crochet 7, then for the tail, increase 3, then single crochet 5, then change colors back to white. Single crochet 7 using white, then change colors back to green. Now I have 24 stitches total. Now I'll create the leg holes in almost the same way that I created the armholes, except for the leg holes I'll skip more stitches than the amount of chains, so that the top of the leg is a little wider than the bottom of the leg. So single crochet 1, then make the first leg hole by chaining 4, then skip 6 stitches. In the 7th stitch after the chain, increase, then increase the next 2 stitches, so that there are 3 increases at the back of the row to keep on making the tail longer. Now make the next leg hole. Chain 4, skip 6, then into the 7th stitch from the chain, single crochet 1 using green, then change colors to white. Single crochet 7 using white, then change colors back to green. At the end of this row, I should have 23 stitches total. If you like, you could mark some of these stitches and chains to make it easier to work into later when making the legs. I'm going to mark each chain of the chain 4, and I'll mark the post of the single crochet stitch that I made before and after making the chain 4. I should have 6 marked stitches total per leg. Next, I'll skip and increase around the leg hole chain, like I did when I was making the armholes. So single crochet 1, skip the first chain of the chain 4, increase the next 2 chains of the chain 4, and skip the last chain of the chain 4. Single crochet 2 more, increase 3 times for the tail, then single crochet 1 until you get to the next chain 4, then repeat the same thing. Skip the first chain, increase the next 2 chains, and skip the last chain. Single crochet 1 more using green, and change colors to white. Single crochet 1, then at the front I'll decrease 3 times using white to start to taper the front of the body. At the end of this row, continue using white. Don't change colors to green like we did in the past few rows. Continue working with the white yarn. In the next row, I'm going to continue to increase 3 times at the back to create the tail, and continue to decrease 3 times at the front. To keep all my decreases at the very middle front, I'll start the row with 1 decrease and end the row with 2 decreases, so that I end up with 3 decreases total at the front. So decrease 1, then single crochet 3 more using white and change colors to green. Using the green yarn, I'll single crochet 4, increase 3 times at the back for the tail, single crochet 3 more using green, then change colors back to white. Single crochet 3, then decrease 2, and single crochet 1 using white. And again, don't change colors to green at the end of this row, just continue using white. In the next row, I'll continue to decrease 3 times at the front, but this time I'll also decrease 3 times at the back to end the tail. So decrease 1 using white, then single crochet 6, and change colors to green. Decrease 3 using green, then change colors back to white. Single crochet 5, then decrease 2 using white. Again, continue using white at the end of the row, don't change colors, and at the end of this row there should be 17 stitches total. In the next row, I'll do the same thing, except I'll place 2 decreases at the beginning of the row this time, and 1 at the end to make up the 3 decreases at the front. So decrease 2, then single crochet 2, decrease 3 at the back, single crochet 3, and decrease 1 more at the front. At the end of this row, there should be 11 stitches total. Now I'm going to end the body with a slip stitch to the first stitch of the row. Then I'll cut off a long tail of my white yarn and use the tail to sew the hole at the bottom of the body closed. And finally, I added a bit of fiber fill to the head. I also added some to the body here, but I realized too late that I really should not have done that, because in a future part of this series we'll be adding a wire skeleton to this doll, which means I ended up unstuffing the body to add the skeleton and restuffing it later. Don't be like me and wait till later to stuff the body. Then I sewed the bottom closed using a ladder stitch. Now the body is complete. This is a bit of a long project, so let's continue in part 2 so this video doesn't end up way too long. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like and share it on social media. If you want to see more doll tutorials, you can find a playlist at the end of this video, or check in the description below. And if you'd really like to help out the channel, you can donate to my Patreon. You can get some pretty cool perks through Patreon, like seeing my videos early, access to some of my prototype patterns, and discounts in my Ravelry store, depending on your level of donation. You can find out more about that at patreon.com/fairyrings. You could also subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!